Hi, welcome to Season 2 of Colors of Cariboo. I'm your host, Rohan Keenan. Well, here we are again. We are so excited to be able to bring you even more artists and even more stories from the Cariboo for this season. We learned so much last year and about what it was like to be an artist in the Cariboo region here, and well, we just didn't want to stop, so here we are again. In fact, let's introduce our first guest, Kerry Chelsea. Kerry is a local Indigenous comedian whose quick humor and effortless storytelling has been making people laugh all across BC. And I'm glad that we managed to catch him after work for a really quick interview. His dedication and commitment to his community is also not to be undersold. He's on the council for the Esquette First Nations Band, he's a council member of the Northern Secwepemc Cultural Society, as well as a board member for the Cariboo Friendship Society, and that's not even mentioning he runs and manages his own driving school here. To say he's busy, a little bit of an understatement. So, grab a chair, grab a drink, and let's get started. Welcome to Colors of Cariboo, stories of wild creativity. Today's episode was filmed and recorded on the traditional, unceded territory of the Secwepemc peoples, specifically the Twahalcum or Williams Lake First Nations Band and the Hatzel or Soda Creek Band. All right, so hi everyone, welcome to Colors of Cariboo. Today we have the wonderfully funny, the very driven individual, which you'll laugh at that pun afterwards, I promise, Kerry Chelsea. So Kerry, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks. I'm
Awesome.
good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good as well. So thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And well, why don't we get started? I know you a little bit, but the audience doesn't know you as well.
Sure,
So why don't
yeah.
you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Kerry, and I was actually born and raised in northern Quebec. Raised there until I was 8, and moved to the beautiful community of Williams Lake. Let's be honest. It wasn't the easiest move. French was my first language, so coming here, not knowing how to speak English was a little bit difficult. I went to school actually right across the street at the Murray Sharp Elementary School because it was the only school in Williams Lake that had a French immersion course going on. So met some students, started learning how to speak English, which was, you guys can't hear it, but I worked extremely hard on getting rid of my accent. Like, I had the thickest accent. It was really, really difficult. I don't think I spoke for maybe the first year here. But got to move to Williams Lake and got to become a little more involved with my Indigenous background through my dad. My dad is from Esquette, which is Elk Lake, and been moving forward in Williams Lake ever since. Yeah. I mean, I could just keep going, but let's give you a shot.
You are free to keep going.
All right.
I mean, first comment, I never would have guessed that you had a French accent.
Yeah. Let me tell you a little story on that. So I was in Murray Sharp, and I used to talk like this a lot, right? And I'd get ridiculed. Williams Lake is as beautiful as this place is, and how much I love it. Yeah, there's a few bullies out there for sure, right? I think we all grew up with that. But so I didn't talk, and I would go home and I would watch a lot of television. We had this old busted up VCR, and I'd record sitcoms, and I would rewind sitcoms like, do you remember that? Like, Thank God It's Friday lineup with like Family Matters and Full House and all of these great shows, right? So I would listen how they spoke, and I would rewind the VCR, and I would start to mimic and imitate what it is that they were saying. So by the time I was in 4th grade, maybe 5th grade, I sounded more American than anything. It was all American TV. So I never said A, I said hey, and people thought I was weird, right? But that's how I ended up losing the accent and just started this persona of trying to make people laugh, watching too much NBC TV out of America, right? But yeah, that's where you'll never hear the accent.
So it's a lot, though. Yeah, especially again coming to Williams Lake here from being raised in Quebec. That's a lot to have to go through.
Yeah, back east, I got a lot of family there from my mom's side, right? But the one thing I did notice was my mom grew my hair super long, and she was really proud of our Indigenous background. I had long hair, wore it in a braid, right? And of course, being named Kerry with the long braid, everybody thought I was a girl for the longest time. And I'd tell them, no, I'm a boy. This is who I am. This is my history. But growing up in Quebec, not a lot of Indigenous people around. You never saw them. So in the village, used to be a village, now it's a small city, is Notre-Dame-du-Lac, which is like Notre Dame Lake, right? Grew up there, and my sister and I were the only Indigenous kids at the elementary school, which was really odd. Come to think of it, I think we were the only non-Caucasian kids. Like everybody was of a Caucasian background. And my dad wasn't able to get work in the town. Nobody wanted to hire an Indigenous guy. Now here's one. Okay, my dad was very Indigenous, long hair. He had a mustache, and I'm not too sure if you guys know this or not, but pure Indigenous people have a very difficult time growing facial hair. So his mustache consists of like 7 long hairs growing from his upper lip, right? But we'd go into the forest in the back, and he would set traps. He was very old school, and we'd catch rabbits. Now, we lived in, I'm not going to say a posh neighborhood, but we lived in a basement suite of a pretty nice neighborhood. My dad saw it appropriate to take off his shirt, front yard, and teach me how to skin rabbits and gut these rabbits right in this pretty nice areas, right in the front yard of this really nice neighborhood. And I'm just watching, and he's gutting these rabbits and skinning them and hanging them. And people are driving by, and they couldn't believe what they were seeing. And he was very dark, long hair, so they were like, oh my God. And mind you, he went a little crazy. There was like 7 of them, right? So it looked like an outdoor butcher shop, but that's how I grew up. It was very different. And then moving here, I didn't even know, nobody had ever explained it to me, that there were different nations of Indigenous people. Like we've got Tsilhqot'in, Carrier, Secwepemc. We've got so many different nations. And that's just in our area alone, right? I thought we were all just one big happy family. And I mean, you think about it now, it's kind of it makes you smile to think that a little native boy moves here and we just think that we're all one people. But that's not the case. So I made friends. Some of my earliest Indigenous friends that I made here, they were really cool because they knew I was Indigenous. I had the long braid and whatnot. So they were really welcoming, even though I couldn't speak English. They were Merle Quilt was one of the first ones. He's from out west, but they were so welcoming, and they didn't like make fun of my accent or anything just yet. Or maybe they did, and I just didn't understand what they were saying, right? But moving here, yeah, it was super different. But at the same time, I never felt, back east, I never felt like I belonged, right? There was always that divide. But moving here, all of a sudden, there were more people like me. Well, like me-ish, right? So, and they were so welcoming. And then when we first moved here, we moved from Notre Dame, Quebec, to Alkali Lake. Now, those of you that aren't familiar with Alkali Lake, it's about a 45-minute drive outside of, about 20-minute drive outside of Springhouse. You follow a dirt road, and you just keep going, and it'll be the first reserve on your left-hand side. So we get there, and my grandma, she meets us. She's never met us before. And she just, like the sweetest woman ever, started hugging us, and she was so happy to see us. I had a sister who lived here, older sister, right? And she was really happy to see us. But I don't know if I can say this, but I'm going to. I've experienced a lot of racism. Some of the most racist, not racist, but some of the harder times when it came to identity was probably on the reserve. And you wouldn't think that, because a lot of people would think prejudice only goes like one way. It goes from Caucasian to whoever else. But, you know, looking the way I look, I know I'm one of those paler Indigenous people, right? So are my kids, so is my wife. But moving on to the reserve, like, it was difficult, because I thought I was accepted, and then you weren't, and then you kind of grow up just in a limbo, which brings me to high school. Like, I was the limbo king in high school. I could go from one group to the next like a chameleon. I'd be talking to a lot of my Indo-Canadian friends who I played a lot of basketball with, and who were most of the time really cool. And in Williams Lake, like, everybody just kind of meshes in, right? And then I'd go to my Tilco teen friends, and then move on to my Secwepemc friends, and then Caucasian. Like, I was able to kind of make friends with everybody, which I think was a skill that you kind of build when you're a kid and you're just trying to find yourself and your identity. One of my skills growing up was always being able to make people laugh, to try to find a way of acceptance. High school was different, but, you know, growing up in Williams Lake, I'm not immune to the lifestyle that some people go through growing up in Williams Lake. So, all right, I'm just going to come out with it. I wasn't always the nicest guy, right? You grow up a certain way. It's not all jokes and happiness. Like, I grew up in Williams Lake, so obviously I knew how to fist fight. You had to. That's just the way it was. I mean, yeah, we get in a lot of fist fights. But of course, me and my friends would take it a step further, start getting into trouble, a lot of trouble. My friends, I'm not going to say any names. You know who you are. I hope you're watching this and you're shaking your heads. They're like, Kerry, we've got a hockey bag and we need to store it here. It was 2 a.m. I was asleep. I'm like, yeah, whatever. So I threw the hockey bag in my room. My mom comes downstairs in the morning to wake me up. And she's like, hockey bag? Kerry doesn't play hockey. Opens up the hockey bag, and there's probably about 12 rifles, some handguns. And so what had happened was these guys had helped themselves to like a cabin or something and decided that they wanted to hide these. Man, my mom had me packed up and moved within 3 days. I think she knew what she was doing, though. It was like, this is getting worse and worse and worse. We've got to get you straightened out. So we have a friend, a family friend, and she made me move in with him. His name's Pete Erickson. To this day, one of the greatest men I've ever met. RC and Pete. So my mom was like, oh yeah? We're going to move you in with Pete. Now, Pete was brutal. Up by 5. shining his shoes, pressing his uniform. We go for a run, come back, school all day, and he thought it was hilarious. He'd pick me up in the squad car and put me in the back seat, and he would transport me every day. I got to say transport. He didn't give me a ride. He transported a prisoner to his house every single day. But it worked within 6 months. Like, I was in the greatest shape of my life. I could shine shoes and ended up graduating thanks to this man. No longer in trouble. And then ended up joining the RCMP. Did depot, did the job for about a year, and just wasn't for me. I was a desk jockey, and I didn't like that. I wanted to be out in the community. There was one cool moment when I was in uniform, and they were having a powwow down, or no, sorry, it was Aboriginal Day, but they had a drum out, and I was in full uniform, and I got to sit around some friends that I'd made in uniform, drumming with them, and nobody had ever seen that. Nobody had ever seen an RCMP member sitting and taking leads around the drum and whatnot. So that was really fun too. After graduation, I joined Canada World Youth, did some traveling, did my odd jobs here and there, yada, yada, yada. Decided to move back to Williams Lake. Saw some old friends. Not in trouble anymore because I'm older now, right? I was in my 20s, and I was about to move back east or try to move into the States, try to do something. And then I started getting heavily involved with the Cariboo Friendship Society locally here in Williams Lake. I was involved when I was a kid, actually. I would help organize local youth councils, youth programs, and then I started working for them, where we were providing youth programs. It was an Indigenous youth program, but it wasn't specifically for Indigenous people. It was for everybody. It was just more Indigenous focused, where we would work with a lot of the communities out west, Dog, Canoe, Esquette, like all surrounding communities. But boy, did we have fun. We had so much fun. The government gave us, I think it was like $500,000 a year. And we were able to put that to really good use. All kinds of trips that these youth would normally never be able to take, you know? Go rock climbing, camping trips, river rafting, like all these really, really fun things. But through them, I also got involved with the provincial Aboriginal Youth Council, which led to a national youth council position. There are 24 friendship centers in BC. So the youth council would be derived from specific youth that were chosen from those friendship centers. I got to do that until I was, well, the province said I was still a youth, even at 28. Can you believe that? I felt like I was a man at 13, but hey, if I'm a youth at 28. But I got to do that for like years. And through that, boy, we got to do a lot of traveling all over Canada. Lived out of a suitcase for probably another 4 years. But through that, I got to meet some really amazing people throughout all of Canada, BC in particular. Some of them I still consider some of my really close friends. You know, it's funny. I've been going to it's powwow season. So we go to a lot of powwows. And I'm having my my traditional dance coming out ceremony happening in 2 weeks in Elk Lake. Regalia is ready to go. So what it is, it's a welcoming from your community and membership and your people to represent those people and tell the stories that they have in traditional dance. It's a pretty big deal. But let me get back to my point here. It's so easy to get sidetracked, right?
100%.
So through the Friendship Center movement, I made some pretty amazing friends, and I've been working on some jokes lately. I will be I'll be doing my coming out, and through the Friendship Center movement, I've met a lot of people. One in particular, his name was Andrew, and Andrew was, I don't even remember where, this was years ago, don't remember where he was from, but amazing guy. He was a powwow dancer. I'm quite sure he was a grass dancer. And Andrew was in charge of, we were in Victoria one night, and we had just done our provincial council meetings. And it was his job to take us out on a town. Like, he was organizing a bit of a field trip for the youth program, or the youth council. So Andrew organizes we went to the Keg or something like that, really nice dinner. And then he wanted to introduce us to some of his friends. Now, Andrew is one of the most brilliant guys I know. Very smart man. Also a fancy dancer, and practices his culture constantly, everywhere he does. So after dinner, he wanted to take us out dancing. So we go to this club, and none of us drink. We're not drinkers at this point because we're really involved in our culture, and our cultural practices forbid it. Or we're not supposed to drink when you're practicing your culture, drumming, dancing, whatever it is. Now, none of us drink, so we go to this club, and the music, it's like one of these clubs, you know? I got the people dancing. So, yeah, Rowan's good.
You get a little bit of dance in there.
So we get in there, and Andrew practices his culture everywhere he goes. So he is on the dance floor, and he's doing his grass dance moves on the dance floor. And I'm watching like, this is amazing. I'm so impressed that he's that comfortable. So he's dancing, he's doing his thing, and I'm like, go Andrew, this is amazing. All our friends are like, yeah. The guys behind him don't know who he is, so they're like, wow, this is cool. What is this guy doing? A couple of gentlemen on his right don't know what he's doing either, but he's kind of getting all these gentlemen's attention, all these guys' attention. I'm like, wow, watching, and I start looking around, and I'm like, Andrew, why you brought us into a gay bar? One of the funniest things, because Andrew, I forgot to mention, is two-spirited, right? Yeah. And he's having the time of his life, and I'm having the time of my life. I'm watching like a friend of mine dancing, and it wasn't until I started looking around and watching everybody watch him, I was like, where are all the women? There's no women in this bar. Having said that, I had the time of my life that night. Oh my God. But through the Friendship Center movement, I was able to do things like that, meet different people, interesting people. We did a lot of like philanthropy work. Like we would walk the streets and go and buy 20 pizzas and hand it out to the homeless, things like that. Things that I still do today, actually. But came back to Williams Lake. I was going to take off again, and I met my wife. She lassoed me in. I mean, okay, I was a willing participant. Come on. It's not like she lassoed me in, but she kind of did, right? And started planting some roots in Williams Lake. Now, through the Friendship Center movement, I'd never done like stand-up comedy before, ever. As a matter of fact, I used to get deathly afraid of the stage. I remember in the 12th grade English class, we were supposed to do a 2-minute public speaking. And I went up there. Before I knew it, I was laying on the floor. I'd passed out. So scared. Wasn't until I did all the youth council work and all the traveling where I didn't have a choice. So one year, through the Friendship Centers, we started doing the Gathering Our Voices Youth Conference. It's the biggest Indigenous youth conference in BC. We're talking like, you have to get on. It's like, you ever try to buy a ticket on Ticketmaster for a show you really want to go to, and you go on and it's sold out in like 46 seconds? Mm-hmm. This is what this is like. This is like going to one of these concerts and trying to get tickets, registration. So we started that through the province. My God, that must have been like 15 years ago. It's still going strong to this day. And my friend Soren and I, Soren, who I've met through the Friendship Center movement, we were asked to MC the event. I was terrified, but Soren was probably really encouraging. Like, he's one of those guys, come on, you got this, you can do it, right? So we jumped on stage, we did some shtick here and there, we did some we had hired a hypnotist, and Soren jumped on stage and he's like, oh, I've been working on my hypnotizing too. And I could do a couple of impressions. Like he would hit my forehead and be like, hey, Arnold Schwarzenegger, hello everybody. And, do that. And the crowd would just go crazy. Right. And it was at that moment I was like, I really enjoy this. I like doing this. So I started doing some stand-up after that. And then it just got bigger and bigger. One of the things I do with my stand-up that I really enjoy is I do an Elvis impression. That started from, are you guys familiar with the Elders Gathering?
I've heard of it.
So yeah, it happens, I believe it's throughout Canada, and might just be BC, one of the two. But the Elders Gathering, it's for Indigenous elders to come together. And they come together, they get to attend workshops, share stories, and see people. And one of the stories I heard was they would meet and see people who they had met in residential schools. One of the stories I heard was, I didn't hear the whole story, but the comment that was made was, I didn't even know you were still alive. And these elders got together and embraced and whatnot. They were so happy to see each other, right? So these elders gatherings are pretty amazing. And Williams Lake got to host one in 2016, the year before the fires. And they had so many elders in this town. They filled up every single seat in both arenas, and they had to take on more space up at TRU. So they had to have a live video feed going on. I was asked to do entertainment. So what I had done was I'd come up with about 5-10 minutes of stand-up, and I did the Legends of Rock show for them, where I did a Buddy Holly impression. And you do silly things when you're up there. Like I already wear glasses, and they kind of look similar to what Buddy Holly would wear, but of course, I take off the glasses and I take out the Buddy Holly glasses, which look exactly the same, and people get that joke, right? So I would do that impression. Then I moved on to a Johnny Cash, which took a long time to I still don't have his voice. Let's see if I'm Johnny. I can't do it right now, but it's so deep. But the elders went crazy for that one. And the closer was Elvis. I grew up with Elvis in the house. My mom was an Elvis fanatic. And it wasn't until I got to do that Elvis impression for that elders gathering that it actually came out. Like people are like, "Oh my God, you're an Elvis impersonator?" I'm like, "No, not at all. I just did that for the elders." But I ended up singing. Was it "Don't Be Cruel"? I think it was "Don't Be Cruel," or it was "Fools Rush In." That was the one. But I had to have it comedic, and I still do this bit to this day. Like a lot of the surrounding reserves or a reserve will ask me to come and do some stand-up, and I'll always tuck a pair of ladies' underwear in my sleeve, and I'll always pick one woman, usually an elder, because the elders go crazy for this, and I'll lean in. The music will start, because I like to use soundtracks now, right? Like almost like a karaoke night. And I'll lean in and it'll be like, wise men say. And then I can just see all the younger people are like, what is this guy doing? But anybody over 60, especially women, the elders, they're just like, oh my God. And I will pick a woman, and I'll grab the mic. I'll get right down to her. I will hold her hand. she'll be the only woman in the room. I'll get down on one knee. I will be singing to her. It got to be, there was one instance at this elders gathering, it got to be so much that the elder I was singing to started rubbing my face. And I was just like, you're a little old for me, but but it went so well. And then when I did the underwear, like with the underwear trick, I'll lean back and I'll say, what's your name? And she'll say, Dorothy. And I'm like, oh, let's give Dorothy a big hand. And all the elders are clapping. Now, mind you, this was in the arena. Every seat was open. There were seats all over on the floor. They were televising it to TRU because not all the elders could fit in the building. And the place was like clapping. It was going crazy. And I'm like, I'll lean in and say, excuse me, Dorothy, what was that? And I'll be holding her hand and I'll kind of reach into my sleeve and pull out the underpants as though she's handing me her underwear. And I look at them, I'm like, whoa, Dorothy, and I'll hold them up. The place erupted. And I'll look at her, and right at the end, like I've got a little more stand-up after that, but I'll always tuck them in and be like, all I want to say to Dorothy is, and of course the classic, thank you very much. And people go crazy, right? So that really, really started a fun time with stand-up. It's not all fun. So I live in Williams Lake. There isn't a Yuck Yucks down the road where I can go do 5 minutes of new material and practice these things. My audience would be my friends sometimes, if they're not too busy, my mom, my wife, and my kids. My kids think I'm hilarious. I could say poo-poo, and they think it's the funniest thing ever, right? So my wife invites my mom to Kelowna with her, and my daughter, actually. They did this girls trip, right? My mom, she broke her back years ago, and so she can't bend as far. And mind you, she's almost 70. She can't bend as far as she normally could. So she's gonna hate that I'm telling this story. She can't do her own toenails, so she has to go in and get them professionally done. So my wife brings her into one of the salons as part of their girls' day in Kelowna, and it was there was this really nice Korean or Asian woman working, and I guess this is the story that they told me. They took off my mom's sock and she looked at it like, oh my God. And I thought it was the funniest story. So I decided to turn that into a 20-minute stand-up into one of the jokes for one of the biggest crowds I've ever done. Now, mind you, this isn't 1986. There's certain things you cannot say. There's a different mentality out there. Like, it is not it's not what I grew up with. I grew up with watching Dave Chappelle and Eddie Murphy and like these great stand-ups, no holds barred. So I thought, hey, I'm gonna do a joke out of this. There were probably close to 300 people at this benefit, and they asked me if I could come in and open for a professional. The professional's name was Leland. He has DVDs. He's been on Just for Laughs. Like they dropped like 10 G's to fly this guy here to do this benefit. And then they asked me, and I was like, I will be there. Absolutely. You don't have to pay me. I just want the experience. It was for Canadian Mental Health. It was one of their big fundraisers. So I get there and I see an ocean of seats, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is real. This isn't 50 people in a room. This is like 300 plus. Okay. Notice as I go, it's more people. Next thing you know, I'm gonna be like, it was like 1,700 people at Rogers. No, okay, there was at least 200 people, but that was a lot for me anyhow. Leland comes up to me. He's the guy. he's what everybody's there to see, and he's like, hey, my name's Leland. One thing I remember about Leland is he shook my hand. His hands were so big. His hand, and I got big hands. His hands wrapped around my hands like an octopus. And I was like, oh my God. And he says that, I'll never forget this. He says to me, I want to thank you for biting the bullet tonight. This is great. I'm like, yeah, no problem. I don't know what he's talking about. Finally, I build up enough nerve and I ask, Leland, what do you mean bite the bullet? He says, well, you're going out there. These guys are excited. They're drinking. There's a big crowd. They're going to love you or hate you. And biting the bullet is so that I can watch and I can work to the kind of crowd that's out there. And I almost shed a tear. It felt like I was going to a firing squad. I was so scared. So I get out there. And first couple minutes, 5 minutes are good. I decide to unload this joke. Very inappropriate. And like I said, it's no longer the 80s or 90s where you can say anything you want. It was the joke about my mom going to the salon, and I foolishly decided to use an old, I can't believe telling you guys this, an old, very inappropriate Asian accent while I'm doing the joke, thinking this is hilarious. I did this joke for my friends. It worked great. Speaking of which, my friends, if you guys are watching this, none of you guys showed up. I was so upset.
Way to call out. Yeah.
I invited like 50 people. The only people that showed up was my sister, my mom, and my wife, and my wife's family, my family, and some family members. Right. So I do the joke, and I will never repeat what I said that day. Let's just say it was highly offensive, and punchlines out. The setup was good. The timing was good. Punchline goes, and nothing. Okay, be quiet for a second. That's a repeat of that night. I could hear a pin drop in the place, and I'm standing there, and I'm just like, any comedian's nightmare that's it. That is it right there. So I shake it off like nothing happened. But before I shook it off, there was one woman. She was sitting right in the middle, and it was like these lights. It was like there was a light shining on her, and she was wearing this white kind of a fancier coat because it was like an event, right? She looked me dead in the eyes when it was dead quiet, and I'm begging for any kind of sympathy laugh. The only sympathy laugh I got was on the right-hand side from my sister. But this woman in the middle, she looked me dead in the eyes and decided to make things a little worse by doing this. And I was mortified. But the show must go on is the golden rule. So I kept going and going and going. And I slowly, after another 10 minutes, started winning them back. The funny thing was, my friends were supposed to show up because up until that point, most of my material was about my mom and my life as like Quebecois and, speaking French. And I only had like 10, 15 minutes. They asked for 20, 25. So I wrote, I didn't know what to do. My wife is the one that kind of led me towards, you know what, Kerry, you're Indigenous too. And there's some pretty funny stuff that you could write up. So I did. And those jokes saved my tuchus that night. Like I was, pulled out of the fire. I was very afraid to perform those though, because none of my friends showed up. And the rest of the audience was probably minus the people I knew, 98% non-Indigenous. I didn't think they would work. But once I started performing them, this place went crazy. They couldn't get enough. And I was like, oh my God, did I just strike gold here? What is happening? I After that experience, bring it on. I could do any crowd. I got to do the business awards in October, and that was such a fun crowd. Yeah, I love my town. I love the city. I love the people, and they're my people. And I think that's why, like, yeah, I spend a lot of time doing. Sometimes I'm working 7 days a week, 14, 16-hour days. Helping with the youth in the community is really important to me. It's near and dear to my heart because I didn't grow up with the best upbringing when I was a youth, but I'm able to learn from my mistakes and present better options for the youth today. I sit on a lot of boards, man. I give a lot of my time. CFS has been near and dear to my heart for years. I sit on their board. Cultural Society, which we just opened up a $6 million building. Last year, actually, we had our opening last summer. And I'm really looking forward to going back to that. The treatment program, Ninkai, that's really near and dear to me as well. Growing up within the Indigenous communities and the population, you see a lot of mental health and addiction issues. That's no big secret. We're seeing it everywhere now. It's Cornell, Kamloops, Williams Lake, all over the place. So sitting on that board and holding the vice president seat is really important to me. One of the bigger positions I have is I'm part of the SCETS Chief and Council as well, which is sometimes extremely time consuming. But being able to represent my community in Williams Lake and at all the events that I'm able to attend, it's just an honor. So, long story short, it's been a long story. I began to realize about when I first joined the Chief and Council for a SCET, 13, 14 years ago now. We did a program through TRU. It was an employability program for our community. And we had 22 people attend and 20 graduates, which is a massive number for our community. So I was giving a speech, congratulatory speech, congratulations, really proud of you. Now, every reserve, usually situated a little bit far out of Williams Lake. SCET's the same, about 45-minute drive. So driver's licenses are extremely important, very important. Driving is not something that should be taken lightly, right? You don't just jump behind the wheel and do it. You have to meet a certain criteria in BC. You have to go through your learner's permit to your novice license to your class 5 and then so on and so forth if you want to continue that. I asked the question at the graduation, how many people here have a driver's license? Only 2 of the 20 graduates put up their hands, which tells me we have a problem. So I approached our chief at the time, who was Charlene Bellew, now an elder. I learned a lot from that woman. Very amazing leader. But I approached her and asked, is there any way we can get driver training brought to Elkli? She said yes. We ended up hiring somebody out of Prince George. Cost us $16,000 for a 3-day program. And we were only able to process 2 learner's permits out of that. So that told me, I don't know if we can do this again. I asked her, it's like, we have to keep this going. We cannot just stop the training here. And she, as a leader, she agreed with me, but at the same time, that cost is too much. Like, nobody could afford that. So I told her, here's what we do. We find a community member. We do the training internally. We get the licensing done internally. And we push forward on continuous supports for driver training for our membership. Like I said, Charlene, brilliant woman. I remember it like it was yesterday. She looked at me like this. And I was like, oh no. I knew exactly what she was going to say. She said, you're the one who's going to go get the training. You're going to go get the licenses. You're going to go get the GLP instructor license. You're going to get this and that and this. And when your chief asks you to do something, you do it. You don't argue or fight. So I said, yes, ma'am, I will take a bunch of time off of work so that I can go and do this. And I did. Got some of the best training out there. Got an instructor license. We started off with just your basic instructor license. And they made me pay for it, these guys. They charged me $3,000 for a band car. Now, you guys may not... If there's any Indigenous people out there watching, yeah, it was a real res car. It was bad. This thing was beat up, had just under 400,000 K on it. But it passed the inspection. So
Well, that's what counts,
that's
right?
what counts. The government said I was good. So I installed the extra brake, installed the extra mirrors, and that became our training car. We started off, I just did weekends. So I would work I was working at Denisekai at the time in their social work department. And I was on weekends, I would have Indigenous youth or our membership come in and we do the driver training. Then people started to hear, oh, Kerry does driver training with the youth in Esquette. So I'd get a call at the time, Chief Joe from out west, Anaheim. Hey, can you work with our youth? Who am I to say no? They need it too. Yes, I'll work with your youth. I'd hear from Del Del, Honeycotin, El Gacho, Dog Canoe, WLF. Like I would hear from everybody. Next thing you know, guys, I was working my Denisekai job. And as soon as I got off, I was working until about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. This started happening 7 days a week. Probably close to 340 days straight. I didn't stop. My wife saw burnout knocking at the door. Mm-hmm. So she says, and my wife, smart woman, she knows. So she said, all right, one or the other. Continue your job at the Denisekai, and you're not doing this driver training anymore. And it was all free. We just did it for free. Which I've been told I have a bad habit of doing. But it was all free. So I had to stop the social work, or I had to stop the driver training. I chose to stop the social work, got a business license, and started doing driver training in Williams Lake. Now we do everything from class 4, restricted, unrestricted, motorcycles, theory programs, class 7s, you name it. Now the only issue is it's still just me. I wanted our school to offer the most and be the best, as best as we can. So I took on more and more and more and more full GLP programs, bring it on, learners programs. Oh, you can't afford it? No worries. Okay. Do you edit that part out? I don't want people to be like, wow, this guy just provides free driver training. Yeah. Great, send him over. Yep. But actually, leave it in. It might be a great joke. But so we've been doing that for, oh my goodness, 7 years now. And yeah, we've got our own building, and we work in collaboration with some pretty amazing organizations in town, such as Friendship Center, K-Tech. K-Tech's a huge supporter. Sage Trainers do a lot of work with not so much Three Corners, but pretty much every surrounding band as well. They've been insanely supportive, and I've been really fortunate to work with a lot of the youth. And I'm just a firm believer that it's a life skill. And this day and age, I want to set up local youth for that life skill as best as we can. I think we've all seen and heard a lot of people. There was an accident on the weekend. This person got hurt. This person got hurt. This person passed away. And if I can prevent a little bit of that, I'm in 100%. So that's some of my story. There's a lot more, but I think you got what you need.
I think we got a lot, and
Excellent.
There's a couple of things that, like, just listening to your story that is like buzzing around in my head now, and like there is such a sense of that community within you, like not just from the work that you've done currently, but like the involvement of like the fact that you talk about you're doing stand-up and you just do that for everybody around here, the fact that you've got all of these different councils, you've got all of these different programs, and especially considering how it all started out, how you came to Williams Lake as somebody who, it sounded like you were an outsider, but you also kind of were an insider as well. You kind of had both, like a weird juxtaposition with that.
Mm-hmm.
And there, it is fascinating to hear how you've taken all that and how you've just kind of ran with it, and you've just kept running with it because it just seems to be working, and it seems to be good.
I really believe that with the stand-up in particular, so I've had an opportunity to do stand-up in a lot of the classes I do too, right? Develop jokes around my wife and my friends, and I think really sincere, good entertainment really comes from personal experiences, whether it's good or bad. Bad experiences can be shared to show your level of sincerity. Good experiences can be shared to laugh or cry or whatever it is. But that sincerity comes from a place of experience. I've had an opportunity to have many, many, many different experiences, and I think any good entertainer will say, "This comes from me. This comes from me," and you can always see the difference. There's sincere people out there, and I think everybody's sincere to a certain extent. Yeah.
And there seems to be such, it feels like there's such a symbiotic relationship that you have with the community here. Like listening to how much you've given back, how much that was given to you, and just how much, because I think one thing as artists, it's important to be able to create the work, and it's also important to be a part of that community.
Mm-hmm.
And hearing all this, I'm just like, yeah, and even when I was doing the research a little bit about you, looking at doing my sneaky stuff on my side there, just so I know who you are a little bit, which I knew a bit before anyways, but it always struck me about how culture is so important. It feels like culture is really important to you.
You know, when we first moved here, didn't speak the language, and we were in Elkali. And Elkali, Esquette, back in the day had its issues, just like Williams Lake, just like everywhere, right? Now, there were some elders out there that, I might get in trouble for sharing this story, but there were some, not all of them, barely any, but there were a couple of elders who were very well respected in the community. And they were pipe carriers, which in our culture, they shared that pipe with the community that they're in. They say special prayers. They can put on pipe ceremonies. Now, these elders, my dad was bringing us to a pipe ceremony, and we were denied entry into the pipe ceremony because we were half. We were half white and half Indigenous. So we were made to wait in the truck. And they were in there for, my God, probably a couple hours, right? So we waited in the truck, and I didn't really know what was going on. It wasn't until I knew what was going on that I started to really feel that divide. So I was introduced to some of the Lakota Nation, and through them I learned about Sundance, learned about sweat lodges, representation, grandmothers, grandfathers, the rocks, the fire, the rounds. I learned everything. Actually, prepping for Sundance, we would do a sweat lodge every Thursday, and rain or shine, Christmas, whatever, we'd do a sweat lodge every Thursday, and that went on for 4 years. Yeah, every week, and always made it. Collecting the boughs, collecting the rocks, everything. So I learned a lot from them. Got a lot of gifts. Started my own bundle, and it wasn't until I came back where some of those elders kind of looked at me. I had my own bundle. I had my own medicines. I practiced the culture, knowledgeable with that culture, to the point where they didn't really have a choice, and they had no choice but to accept me. Started drumming, started singing, started dancing, started doing everything that I wanted to do. And the funny thing about Indigenous culture, it's so beautiful, and it's so it has such a strong connection to the earth and the animals and the wind and the water and the weather. Like its strong connection is to everything. So learning about it, practicing it, and like when my kids are sick, for example, I'll light a bowl of smudge, and we'll utilize that as their medicines, right? But practicing it and being able to be accepted and be a part of it, because now in Esquette, I'm one of the leaders. One of the leaders. There's many leadership around Esquette, but I'm fortunate enough to be in a position where I'm finally accepted. Because when I first came here, identity was in question, mostly with me. There are still people out there, though, that will try to strip that away from you. But now I'm so much stronger mentally that I know to keep my distance from that. It's not a place that you want to be. But with the culture and the values around traditions, Esquette is really rich with it. And I'm just looking to share. It's such a beautiful culture, and Williams Lake is such a beautiful town, and we have such a strong, unified people now. Not from when I was growing up. Things are so different. People are so accepting. And my goodness, we celebrate Aboriginal Day now. That's huge, guys. When I was a kid, there was so much shame of being Aboriginal or being Indigenous. Now it's celebrated in the streets. It's really uplifting to see how far my town, Williams Lake, our town, has come. And I wouldn't have it any other way, personally. I think it's just going to get better and better. Yep.
Thank you for sharing that. That's
absolutely.
I think it's good to know that. It's good to hear that once in a while. Yeah, I remember kind of growing up with the same kind of feeling too. So as we're wrapping up a little bit here, I ask every single guest on the podcast 3 questions.
Okay.
So don't mind me looking at my cheat sheet here. So the first question is, if you could spend a week with anyone in the world, past or present, who would it be and why?
Oh, Rohan, my goodness. That's a tough one. A week, past or present, hey? Man, let's come back to that one. Move on to that is such a big way. Is the next question even bigger?
So the next question is actually the one I feel that most people have difficulties with.
Oh, goodness.
Because the next question is, what is your favorite What is the favorite compliment that you personally have ever received?
Okay, I can answer that. I used to do a lot of tons of youth programs, youth counseling. We used to organize a trip for all our local youth here in Williams Lake to Vancouver, and we would do the RIP program. Ever heard of the RIP program?
No, I don't think I have.
So what it is an old colleague of mine who's like one of my favorite people. Is no longer with us anymore. His name was Morris Bates, and he was an Elvis impersonator. He was the Elvis impersonator.
Oh, so he's the one that... Was he the one that was in town, or that was from town here, that had the display in the museum?
Yep, he's registered with WLFN, and he was one of my favorite people. A lot of people don't know this, but he had a book. I read his book 3 times, and then I got to meet him, which was a big treat for me. But anyhow, he used to organize a RIP program where he wanted to give Aboriginal youth in particular, but any youth, a trip, a real dose of reality, where we would go to Vancouver and he would give us a full day's tour of the East Side. It's a different story. I mean, we can watch through a blue lens till we've seen it 20 times. We can see it on the news and hear about it, but to actually be there and getting a tour down the alleys, a safe tour because everybody knew who Morris was. All the smells, all the sights. It is really, really awakening to a lot of the youth in attendance. I had youth holding on to my arms. They were so nervous. And then for us to join them at the local it wasn't Salvation Army. It was a different organization that provided lunch for $1. And we got to join them. Anyhow, we did that trip over and over and over every year with local youth in Williams Lake. And about 5 years ago, maybe a little longer, I had a youth, young man now. He's dad. He has 2 kids. And but he was one of my old youth, and he took that trip. And he thanked me for taking him on that trip because a lot of his family members suffer from addiction and mental health. And because of that trip and what he saw and what he experienced, he never touched a drop of alcohol. He never did any drugs. And that to me was worth all the youth work I've ever done. Yeah.
That's a great answer.
All right.
Thank you for that.
We got one.
We got one. All right. So... We'll do the last one, and then I'll definitely going to hit back to the first one there.
Back, yeah.
So this one's kind of a twofold one. You can pick one or do both. What is the best advice that someone has ever given you, or what advice do you wish somebody had given you?
Let's start off with the first one. Yeah. Best advice I ever got was to we used to, a friend of mine and I, we used to do a lot of presentations through youth councils. And we'd always run into people who would create barriers for themselves as to why they couldn't get to their goals. I don't have a ride. I don't have the proper support. I can't do this because of this. And we would meet people that would put so many barriers in front of themselves as to why they couldn't do this and reach their goals that we started calling them berries. So it became like an inside joke. My wife and I know about this because I'm sorry, Shay. She used to bury herself quite a bit. Now she's over that hump and she's like insanely successful. But that is something that I would I want to thank my friend for kind of pointing out because I used to be the same way. Can't do this because of this, this, or this. So that was some of the advice that I really took and ran with. just because you get knocked down, or just because somebody says you can't do something, or because you see 3 or 4 barriers. I don't look at it as barriers anymore. I look at it as challenges. And how am I going to get over this barrier? And how am I going to get myself back up? And been doing that for years. And that's the best advice I've ever gotten, right? And I'm sorry, what was the second part?
Oh, the second part was like, what advice do you wish you had been given?
That's a tough one. I wish I had been told that when you're a youth and when you're a teenager or an adolescent, that your experiences don't last forever. You know, when you're a kid, you feel like this, especially a teenager, you feel like the smallest little thing is the end of the world. When I was a kid, I felt like the smallest little things, you know, acceptance, or having the coolest shoes, or having a fight with your friend. It doesn't last forever, right? It'll eventually get easier and better and better and better. Those problems aren't the end of the world.
Yeah.
And within a day, 24 hours, things will be looking better. Yeah. All right.
That's true for everyone.
I think so too.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you ready for the first one again?
Let's go.
Okay. The week with anybody in the world, past or present. Who would you spend it with?
I think I've got somebody. I was 18 years old, and I was sent to Vernon to attend the very first provincial youth council for the BC Association for Aboriginal Friendship Centers was being developed. It was still just an idea, and I got to Vernon. I was still quite shy at public speaking. I think I told you, like, I passed out my first time trying. But to be part of this, I had to get up and say a few words. I was not the type to get up in front of a whole bunch of people. I mean, a group of friends, sure. Life of the party, right? But to speak sincerely and honestly as to why I wanted to be part of this was, okay, if I'm being honest, it was somebody else who saw this in me, and they're the ones who sent me to the meeting. Yeah, I was 18. The last thing on my mind was establishing a provincial council, right? So I got there, and I was so nervous. I was sweating. My legs were shaking. My hands were shaking. And this woman approached me. I don't know whatever happened to her. Her name was Teresa. And she said, "Hey, are you okay?" And I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And she gave me this rock. It was about this big. About this big. And she said, I used to never be able to public speak, but this rock really helped me out. Whenever you're feeling nervous, just rub it. So I was rubbing the hell out of this rock. I think I lost some thumb skin off of this thing, but I got up and ended up speaking. Didn't pass out, which was nice, and ended up joining as one of the council members for the Provincial Aboriginal Youth Council. Went on to do a ton more speaking all over the province, and every single time I had that rock, and then eventually I didn't need it anymore. I still have the rock. It's in my watch case that my wife got me, but I rubbed this thing down to a nub. Like, it is half gone. I rubbed it so much. And this woman helped that provincial youth council become what it is, well, what it was when I was involved anyhow. I don't know exactly how it's doing today, but she was there for like the first 3-4 years. She organized all the meetings. She didn't coach us, but taught us a lot of different things. And the really cool thing about that council was it had representation from all over the province. All 24 friendship centers had one representative, and we were able to not only share a lot of the issues that our personal community has, so mine was Williams Lake, but you would also learn about other communities as well. Kelowna, Vernon, Victoria, Vancouver, anywhere you can think of, they all had representation. But that woman, she helped build that foundation, and it was a huge opportunity for a really positive Indigenous youth movement to push forward. And it became a national youth movement. And I've always been thankful for that. Yeah. So she came to mind for sure.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, there are no wrong answers, but that's
it felt like I was being, man, I'm sweating, dude. that was the one.
It's always interesting where our minds go, and it's always interesting to how, like, again, certain questions, some people are like, I don't want to touch that one, especially the compliment one. I find the compliment one is a hard one for people to think, because that requires you to think of yourself in a different way, which, speaking from personal experience, is very hard to do. So but no, I think that was a great answer, and all three of them were great answers. And
well, I hope you got what you need.
I think we've got more than what we need.
Yes.
Do you have any other projects coming up? Anything like any other stand-up things? Any other things you're looking to try to do?
Well, I've got my coming out ceremony. You know, it's so funny. We call it a coming out ceremony, and I ran into my aunt at Walmart yesterday. My aunt on my wife's side. And she heard about it, and I think they're going to try to attend. But, you know, she's teasing me because I'm married. I have 3 kids, and I'm not coming out. How we know, I have that ceremony coming up, and I'm really looking forward to it. I've written a few jokes specifically for that. I don't think it's going to be like a stand-up show by any means, but I know I've got an opportunity to tell some jokes. So I'm over the weekend I wrote some powwow jokes. I wrote some dancers jokes. Looking forward to that. But I've also got a show coming up in oh my goodness, where is that? It might be local, actually. I just answered the email last week. I think it's for Always Travel. They're doing a Christmas right around Christmas time. Boy, my dance card fills up quick. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants me for their Christmas parties, which I love. It's fun, and to this day, if there's an event going on and the MC looks at me and they're kind of like, like, absolutely, I'll just get on the mic and just start cracking some jokes, right? But now people are throwing me like, hey, here's a $200 honorarium, and I'm thrilled with that. I mean, buy me lunch. I don't really care. I'll just do it for the exposure and the experience, right?
And for the love of it.
Oh, you probably know, on a stage, something happens. It's you're on a stage and you don't even feel. I mean, at first I'm nervous, but once I get that first laugh, and I can see the enjoyment in their faces, I want more and more and more, until finally I look at my watch. I'm like, I just did 40 minutes. It's time for me to go. But yeah, it's something inside you. I can't explain it. But once you see the satisfaction of the entertainment, you just want to do it again and again and again and again. Yeah.
It's a real human connection.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you're creating connections with people in a way that not a whole ton of people get a chance to do.
And, you know, in Indigenous communities, there's been a lot. It's been difficult. Everything from loss of language, traditions, culture, residential school, things like that. There have been some real hardships. So if I can go into a community that's suffering in any way and get them to laugh for half an hour, I'm in 100%. And my wife's going to hate that I'm saying this, but it's usually free. Sorry. I will do it for the love of it. And I'll keep doing it. Yeah.
Well, that's the first episode of Season 2, and thank you to everyone coming back, and welcome to anyone new. I feel like we've got things kicking off fantastically with Kerry, who has done so much that I'm still baffled how anyone has enough time to do what he does. But he makes it look easy, and so a huge amount of respect for that, and another massive thank you for him making time for us. We are glad to be back, interviewing more artists, exploring the region, and doing anything else we think might be fun to show off. There's some pretty special stuff planned for this season, so keep an eye out for our next episode, and thank you for wanting to take another journey into the Cariboo with us. You take care now.